to Motivational Moments with Marissa. I am Marissa. I'm your host, and I am super excited to be with you today. I almost got caught up. I went on Facebook and started posting some likes and this stuff. Looked up and time was past me. So I'm going to be quick, but I want to make some very, very important points today in regards to do you boo. Now, I want to say this to all the moms out there. I hope you had an incredible Mother's Day. I really enjoyed myself resting and relaxing. Tonight, me and my daughters are going to binge some movies and enjoy one another virtually while I'm here in the DR and they are in the United States. So we're going to, take that time and put it aside for us to really enjoy one another. So I just want to continue to celebrate the entire month. Mother's Day is not one day, it's an eternity. You're always going to be a mom. And so celebrate every day. Take some time. The show's focused on do you boo. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Whenever we decide to do anything in our lives, whenever we want to, go out there and expand ourselves, fly to new heights, do crazy things, like me moving, we have the tendency to apologize or hold back or restrain or do something that just keeps us from living that fulfilling life. And then we're wondering why we're not really happy, or we're not filled with joy. And it's because you're not doing the things that you really want to do. So there's three things I want to do, and I want to be quick and to the point. Three things I want you to stop doing. Stop explaining yourself. Do you, boo? Stop explaining yourself, right? Stop being unsure. Whatever it is that you want to do, it's time to make a decision that you're going to do it. And just do it. And then stop hesitating. Stop hesitating. Stop hesitating. And then I also want you to do this. Stop stopping. So along with the hesitating, the other part to hesitating is stop starting and stopping. You start, then you stop because you allow someone else to kind of speak to you, or you even self-sabotage. You start speaking to yourself. And you start reasoning your way out of what you really wanted to do. So what do I want you to do? Stop explaining yourself to other people. And I have to do this consciously. You have to be very conscious of the decision to do what I'm telling you to do. Stop explaining yourself to people. Because in that explaining, you're kind of asking for their permission, or you're opening the door for their input, and you may not really want that. So stop explaining, stop being unsure, get sure about yourself, stop hesitating, and stop stopping. I want to read to you a story, like it's a little excerpt from a book that I'm reading called Think and Grow Rich, right? Think and Grow Rich. I'm not trying to grow rich. I'm just saying I wanted to get something to feed my spirit, to feed my soul, and to get me motivated. And when you want to do some things, you're going to have to do some things. You're going to have to feed your mind so that you can level up to the next level, right? So I've glanced over this. I was sharing with a good friend of mine. I had glanced over this book a few years ago, read some other books too. But I wanted to go back. I wanted to have some me time. Reading this is my me time, right? And when you do that, when you start looking at resources, when you start filling your mind, you start becoming in pursuit of something, God shows up in that, and he starts confirming what you already know. Confirming what you already know. What's really critical about this is, what are you going to do? Like, when you get these confirmations, what are you going to do? So I want to share this story with you. So I told you the three things I want you to stop doing. I want to tell you really quickly the three things I want you to start doing. Start owning everything pertaining to you. Own it. Own it. Get a specific direction. What is it that you want to do? And I want you to set your mind on this most valuable thing. This why must make you high. Why? Why does that why must make you high? Because you have to be in strong pursuit of it. When something makes you high, it gets you to that highest level of pleasure. You just love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Like, I love coming on here and inspiring you. I love pushing you to not get comfortable and settle. I love that. I love that because I want to see you maximize your potential and live an enjoying life, the life that you enjoy. So get specific about your direction. The minute that you start getting specific and clear on exactly what it is you want to do, and you are fully persuaded to pursue that, things start changing for you. So get very clear on what you want and get in pursuit of it. So that's number two. So number one is owning everything pertaining to you with specific direction. Get clear on what you want to do and what you want to be in pursuit of. And then three, start commanding things. Stop allowing yourself, well, I hope it happens. Well, if God wants it to happen, and God said, whatever you ask is yes and amen with him. It's not being all over the map. It's yes and amen with him. So God is really not looking for us to look for what he wants. Eventually, he wants you to know what it is that you want and to get clear about. Command things aligned with your pursuit and mean it from your heart. So command things to start aligning. Speak those things. The scripture says, call those things that be not as though they were, right? And so you want to start speaking it. So I want to tell you about this story that's in this book. I don't think this reading will take me more than a couple of minutes. But hear what it says here. Shortly after Mr. Darby received his degree from the University of Hard Knocks and had decided to profit by his experience in the gold mining business. So just the hard knocks is you got to stay the course. The stopping is staying the course. And what Mr. Darby did in the past was he didn't stay the course. He was 3 inches or 3 feet away from the gold when they were doing the big gold rush here in the United States. He was 3 feet, I believe, from reaching the gold, where the harvesting of the gold was. And because he quit, because he had so much delay, because he quit the way he quit, he missed out 3 feet of becoming a millionaire, right? Millionaire during that time. And so what he's referring to is just that, is the lessons, the University of Hard Knocks. And he decided to profit by his experience in the gold mining business. He had the good fortune to be present on an occasion that proved to him that no does not necessarily mean no. So your delay does not necessarily mean that you're on the wrong track. That's why you cannot keep quitting and giving up. And you got to be in hot pursuit. One afternoon, he was helping his uncle grind wheat in an old-fashioned mill. The uncle operated a large farm on which a number of sharecrop farmers lived. Quietly, the door was opened, and a small child, the daughter of a tenant, walked in and took her place near the door. The uncle looked up, saw the child, and barked at her roughly. "What do you want?" Meekly, the child replied, "My mammy says, send her 50 cents. "I will not do that," the uncle retorted. "Now you run on home." "Yes, sir," the child replied, but she did not move. The uncle went ahead with his work, so busily engaged, and he did not notice that the child had not left. When he looked up and saw her still standing there, he yelled at her, "I told you to go on home. Now go, or I'll take a switch to you." The little girl said, "Yes, sir," but she did not budge an inch. The uncle dropped the sack of grain he was about to pour into the mill hopper, picked up a barrel stave, and started towards the child with an expression on his face that indicated trouble. Darby held his breath. He was certain he was about to witness a murder. He knew his uncle had a fierce temper. When the uncle reached the spot where the child was standing, she quickly stepped forward 1 step, looked up into his eyes, and screamed at the top of her shrill voice, "My mammy gotta have that 50 cents. And the uncle stopped, looked at her, and for a minute, then slowly he laid the barrel stave on the floor, put his hands in his pocket, and took out $50 and gave it to her. He gave it to her. You have got to stay where you are and command some things to break through for you. She said, "My mammy gotta have that 50 cents. When you get sick and tired of being sick and when you make a decision, that girl was not moved by that man. She was not moved by his fierce temper. She was not moved by anything pertaining to him. She was focused on what it was her mammy said she was to go get. She was focused on, and guess what? All of that back and forth that he was telling her, no, 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 no. She stayed right there until she got what she came for. She got what she came for. So I want to share these things with you, and I'm going to leave it with you. I don't just ask God for things. I don't just, pray. I am looking for his response. I'm looking for when he actually tells me that he responds to me. I'm looking for his response. And I'm going to share this with you. Back in 2015, I think in 2015, 2016, I did a presentation at Toastmasters, because I had been joining organizations and leaving organizations, because when I got there, the organization, what it looked like was not what it was like inside. And I believe in excellence. I believe in going above and beyond the call of duty. And so I would always leave the organizations. I was like, this is a mess. I'm not staying here. there's too much politics. And then one day the Lord was really beginning to speak to me and said, Marissa, you can't keep leaving. You can't keep leaving. No matter where you go, there's always going to be some shortcomings. There's always going to be something. And he began to tell me that you have to get what you came for. Don't leave without getting what you came for. So I did a whole presentation on that. And that young lady did exactly that. And what that did for me in reading that was, if I never picked that up, I wouldn't hear the confirmations of God telling me, Marissa, you're on the right track. God is speaking to you and he's giving you confirmations that, sweetie, you're on the right track. Just stay here. But are you being open to hear him? Are you being open to see when God is responding and saying, yeah, I want you, as crazy as your friends may think this is, or as crazy as your spouse may think this is, or anybody that's important to you that you thought would have bought into what it is that you want to achieve or accomplish, God is saying to you, I gave you that. I gave that to you, and I don't want you to give up. I want you to stay the course. I want you to stay the course. And in reading that, and it actually, in the book, it actually refers to get what you came for. It actually refers, I can't find it in there at this moment, but when I first read it, there's a piece in this, in the book, Think and Grow Rich, that says, get what you came for, basically. And then what they illustrate in that particular story was just that. Don't leave. She did not leave until she got what she came for. So I wanted to say this. And then two, in the reading of the book, it says defiance and determination. You've got to be so determined and so defiant. He was ready to beat her behind, right? He said, I'm going to put a switch to you. You have to be, there are going to be threats. There's going to be risks. There's going to be all kinds of things that are going to come your direction to try to stop you. But you have got to be so defiant in your faith and belief that this is what you're meant to do or meant to experience, that you're not moved by that. Do not allow certain things to hold you back from moving forward in all that you want. And it talks about in the book quitabilities. Bring your quitability to 0%. Stop quitting, caving in, and giving up. You just have to, because when you quit like that, you quit at the point when you're just about ready to break through. And that's what the enemy wants you to do. Everybody who's doubting you, all of those folks around you that's ready to tell you, I told you so. You're right at that breaking point where if you just stay the course, you'll receive the breakthrough. So don't give up, cave in, or quit. Stay the course. The other thing that God gave me, the aha moments of confirmation, was I always, whenever I show up or, whenever I go out to do certain things, I don't compete. I never had a competitive mind in the sense of I want to compete against anyone or I want to be better than anyone. I've always competed with myself. I want to be my best me. I want to level up. It has nothing to do with analyzing my competition and seeing what so-and-so is doing on over here. In fact, when I was in pursuit of my doctorate degree and it had coaching on it, I really honestly never wanted to call myself a coach because I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't like to go where the fads are or the trends are. I don't, because I equate that in my mind as being phony. It's kind of like, y'all drinking the Kool-Aid. Where is your originality? Where is you? We were all created uniquely. You don't have to compete with anybody. No one can be Marissa, but Marissa. No one could be me. I like that song. Nobody can be you but you. So you don't need to compete with other people. And Oprah said, she said, stop looking at the competition and just, perfect and master what you're doing. When you master what you're called to do, no one else can compete with that because you've mastered your uniqueness. You've mastered your differential edge. So you don't have to compete. Work on what you're doing. I don't look at other people to compete with them. In fact, I look with them to say, how can I be of help, or how can I be of support? How can I make you succeed? And so that was another confirmation that God gave me recently, just in the last week. When you start seeking knowledge and seeking understanding, it finds you because you're in pursuit of it. So pursue more knowledge. Knowledge is power. It gives you options. When you are more knowledgeable, you get more options. And so, and it also builds up personal confidence. And one thing in the story, there's another story about this general leading his men and how they were going into a battle that was pretty much, they were going to be defeated. They were going to be defeated. The odds were against them. And the general, what he did was, when they came up on the shore, he made them burn all the boats. He said, burn all the ships, burn them, burn them, burn them, burn them. He said, because if we don't come out of this winners, we're just not coming out. So what God is saying, in order for you to really operate in faith and really believe what he's telling you to do, you're going to have to take risks that don't give you the options to turn back. Because I always say this to the folks that I'm coaching or working with or speaking to who are entrepreneurs. When you're an entrepreneur and you have a full-time job, a tendency is just to lean on the job funding your business. A tendency is to lean on your job. Your job funds your business, but then you don't work hard to really build up your business. You know why? Because your comfort zone is you have a job. So that paycheck ends up being your funding for your job. That's wrong. That's wrong. Hey, Lisa, thank you for chiming in. That's wrong. It's wrong. That's not the way that you do it. You make yourself get uncomfortable. Do the selling that you need to sell for your business. Come up with the products, goods, and service. Master your skill set and force your business to pay for your business, because then you are in business. Otherwise, you just got a hobby that your job is supporting. So cutting off your resources, and I'm not saying cut your job off. God, no. But what God is saying is stop making it comfortable for you so that you have a way to retreat. Put yourself in a position where you have no other choice but to show up for yourself. To show up for yourself in a strong way that says, I'm in pursuit, and I am saying to myself, I'm commanding myself to win. You're gonna win at this. You're gonna get it done, and I'm gonna see you on the other side of the victory, on the side of achievement. And that's what you want to do. You want to make yourself uncomfortable so you level up, that you perfect the skills that are going to take you where you need to go. Staying comfortable and complacent is only it's mediocrity. You're just going to be comfortable and you're going to be complacent. You'll never stretch and grow. You'll never see your greatness. And after all of this is said and done, you want to see your greatness. So you want to see your greatness. So I'm going to tell you, God confirmed to me, don't worry about nobody else. Worry about yourself. So stop competing with other people and make yourself great. Master you and do you. Get what you came for. Stop worrying about, the nose, because the yes is going to be right there. And God is saying, hey, are you going to press through the nose to get to the yes? Are you going to press for the yes, or give up and quit? And then it says, cut off your resources, cut off the way to go back home. And make it work. Make it work. So 3 things I want you to stop is stop explaining yourself to other folks. And stop looking for permission to do it. Just go and do what you want to do. You've grown, like we always talk about that grown stuff, grown ups. Stop being unsure. Stop being unsure. Get sure about this thing that you want to do. And stop hesitating and Stop stopping yourself. Things I want you to start to do is owning everything about you. Get to know you so well that you own everything about you. And then start stretching yourself in a way that says, I know that I don't like doing this, and this makes me feel uncomfortable. Well, start doing it enough so that you start feeling comfortable. I remember when I first started doing lives, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to make out? Well, first I started off doing Toastmasters. And I always say this because it's the best place to get all the practice. So in Toastmasters, you have to do table topics. You got to get up, you got to speak off the cuff for 1 to 3 minutes, and you just got to talk. You got to talk. So practice makes perfect. Throw yourself out there. Start going to karaoke. Do karaoke. Make yourself go out there and get uncomfortable, because the more that you get out there in that uncomfortable nature and that uncomfortable environment, eventually it becomes comfortable for you. So you'll be good after a while. Trust me, if you stay at it, you'll become good at it. And so get get clear. Take some time to be by yourself and start saying, well, what is it that I really want? Get a journal. Get you a journal. Go to the dollar store. Get you a pretty journal. I have a very good friend, Kim Cheatham. She has these beautiful journals and all these stickers, and she has so much fun with it. But get clear about what it is that you want to accomplish. Get clear about it, and then get in pursuit about it. That's why I said your why must make you high, because if it doesn't, you'll give up in a minute. So you have to have something that you're in pursuit that is of high value to you. Start commanding things to align with your pursuit, and mean it from the heart. Your mind and your heart is your strongest conviction. When you get those two in alignment, they're powerful, because when you open up your mind, that girl said, my mammy has to have that 50 cent. She said she has to have that 50 cent. Got to have her 50 cent. That's how you have to command things. You have to say, I rebuke the devourer. I thank you that, I am favored, that I could go and do the things that I'm been called to do, that I can do them without hesitation, that I have the skill set, that I have the mindset, I have the competency, I have the strength, I have the resources, I have the money. You have to start they say the law of attraction. But God says, call those things that be not as though they were, until they align with the design for your life. You have to start commanding it. You have to start saying it, and you have to start owning it. And that's why I say own it is not being cute. It's not cliche. It's not being, it is about shifting things. It is about shifting the situation, shifting yourself and taking ownership and taking authority over your life, over your career, over your business. And it's doing the necessary work that will help you to own it and to do it, and stop running away from the things that are fearful to you, and start running towards them and mastering that experience, mastering your emotions. In this book, it says that you have control over your mind. Well, you have control over your mind, your will, and your emotions. That is my belief. That's why I say self-awareness, get to know yourself, should lead you to self-development. That means developing yourself. Grab hold of the things that you fear and start contending with them until you master, and you are no longer fearful of it, but you have domination over it. Then you also have control over, and as you develop yourself, you move into a place of self-mastery, where at one point, before you knew yourself and before you strengthened yourself in this area, you would go off. You would do certain things and react a certain way. But when you get to a place of self-development and self-mastery, you recognize that thing. And you say, oh, wait a minute, I recognize what's getting ready to happen here, and I know how I usually respond, and that's not the result I want. I know if I respond this way, I'm going to get this result, because I've seen that before. That's the University of Hard Knocks, right? So I've seen that before, and that's not what I came for. I want to get what I came for, so I want to learn from what I've experienced in the past. So self-development does that for you. It helps you to recognize and see the traps and snares of the enemy before you're in them. Lets you see the setup from the door so that you don't walk through it, right? So that you are able to master yourself, operate in self mastery, and you know how to navigate through all of that craziness that would have got you tripped up before. So that's why self awareness, time with self, getting to know yourself will get you the clarity that you need. And then moving towards self development will give you the clarity that you need in the areas that you need to strengthen yourself, so that you will create greater opportunities for you to live that successful life that you want to live. So again, I say to you, do you, boo. Start doing you. Do you, and I don't mean do you like girl, do you. No, I mean do you. Do you in ways you never thought you would have the courage, the audacity, or the defiance to do. Do you, and then be happy with your decisions. And so, without further ado, I love you so very much. I hope that my words inspired you. I hope that I was a blessing and motivated you to do you, boo. It's your life. Own it. I'm out.